Dear Jennifer, I decided that's how I'm going to start these from now on. Our plumbing is backed up, which is awesome. So that's why I look like this, because I have no water. My shower is filled with sewer water, which is so gross. I'm really glad I have a door to my bathroom. Anyway, my gorgeous landlord came to tell us about it. Not my landlord, but I guess my apartment manager, who looks like a cross between, like, Boone from Lost and Chris Pine. And I look like this because I'm cleaning the kitchen because Steph moved out. I'm getting ready for Danielle. And I feel like an adult because I've inherited between Brie and Steph, like, a full apartment worth of stuff. Like, I own everything. I've seen everything. My teeth look really white on here. That's cool. Anyway, gorgeous apartment man comes to the door and is like, is something wrong with your bathroom? And I'm like, I don't know. So I went and checked, and it was gross. But not super gross, because at least it's still in the shower. I'm scared to look. Anyway, he should be fixing that. But until then, I have no water, so hopefully I'll have water in the morning. We will see. Notes that I made. Your Monty Python hat, that green hat, gray hat, looked like Monty Python. That was all I could think. You say, like, you have nothing to talk about, but I want to hear about your symposium, and it looked like it was really cool and a really big deal, and Dan Choi was there. And that story about the woman who you're helping get annulled is amazing. I have in all capitals, you are changing lives. Because you are. I mean, that's really cool that you're smart enough to do that, that you're, like, well-connected enough. You're actually, like, that memo, when you have the time to write it, can actually, like, save that woman's life. And how cool is that you get to be a part of that? You're a hero. Andy, I'm going to need to hear about, but we might have to talk in person, so call me when you can. Or post a video, but I definitely need to hear about that. You seemed so happy last time, but I guess I understand frustration. I just need to hear more. My diet is non-existent, not even really worth talking about. I'm glad you were able to indulge and not gain weight. I'm glad you were able to find 3G, move back to civilization where we have 3G all the time. And then I guess my life. My life is so not counting down the days. Jobs sort of is, except that I'm really getting to do a bunch of cool stuff. This week, before I go, I get to produce some radio spots for a TAP project, which is that pro bono account I'm on. And Jack McBrayer is doing the voice. So that's cool. We were just like, can we have him? And our business affairs people found him, and now he's going to record on Wednesday. So sweet, right? I'll have radio spots with Jack McBrayer under my belt before I go. And aside from that, I don't know, just sort of trying to wrap up, sort my files, make sure everyone has everything they need. It's very, very surreal. Like 3.5 days left. I'm sort of getting scared. I'm kind of sad. But that's okay. But aside from that, my life is actually really exciting. I'm looking forward to Planned Parenthood. I think I might do some census work. I took the qualifying test on Friday, and I got a perfect score, which was fun, because all the other people there were like, it's really hard. This is like my 3rd time. But they were from lower socioeconomic groups, which is really interesting to me, because I don't know if it's an intelligence thing or social capital thing or what's going on there, but I really do feel very competent as compared to other strata of society, and I want to know more about that. So hopefully I'll get into the UCLA Urban Education program, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that. Still waiting to hear from them. But yeah, waiting to hear about the census. I went and interviewed at Disneyland, so I'm technically on a waiting list. So I'm sort of hired. I'm just waiting for a spot to open. Could be as late as like late May, but hopefully before. We'll see. I'm hoping for spring break. The census work would be temporary, so it wouldn't interfere with that. But yeah, I went to interview, and I was like sitting in the lobby, and all the crazies were there because the crazies want to work at Disneyland. And they found out I worked there, and they were like, oh my God. And they were like asking me all these questions, and it was just like, yeah. And they're like, you have the smile, you're so professional. And it was funny because I went in to talk to the lady, and she was like, so why do you want to work here again? And I was like, I've missed it every day, da, da, da. And usually in interviews, my biggest weakness is that they ask me a question, then I have to think about it, and I go, and then I answer it. and then I talked too long. But this one was perfect because she was like, can you tell me about a time you had a guest who was, you know, upset and how you dealt with it? And I was like, I worked at Thunder Mountain and we had a height requirement. So it was like, bam, bam, bam. So it went really well. So I guess I'm just waiting to rehire, and I'm really excited. I played in the park yesterday, and I was like, I'm so sure I want to come back here at least for a little while. So between that and Planned Parenthood, I'll be living the dream. Other Disney things. I did play in the park yesterday with Kim and a couple of her friends and my friend Billy. And about halfway through playing, Kim is texting, and she looks at me and goes, I might have just done a bad thing. And I knew what it was because we'd run into Mark earlier. And he had talked just to Kim and, like, sort of ignored me. So Mark came to play for, like, 3 hours. So I hung out with Mark for the first time, really, since we broke up. I mean, we had a couple of random run-ins where I'd go to his house, but it was really the first time we've done anything social since the breakup 2 years ago. But it went really well. There was really nothing to report. There wasn't flirting or tension or anything. He's in my head now, of course, but it'll pass. So there's that. It was good. It was really good to see him. I do miss him, but I know better. Steve is a nothing. Anna is pregnant, Steve's ex. So I'm helping her through that. She's in San Diego, though, so it's not really hands-on helping. But yeah, just when you think it can't get any weirder. And apparently he doesn't want to talk to me because she tried to get him to give me her stuff, and it's all very convoluted, but apparently he, like, doesn't want the baby, doesn't want anything to do with the baby, and she is having an abortion, but, like, before, when she was thinking about it, he was like, if I see you, I'll probably try to hurt you, and I was like, oh my god, that's so not okay. So I saw him at the bar the other night and was, like, ready to kill him, but I just didn't talk to him instead. So I probably won't ever talk to him again. I hate him. But Hakel, I feel so warmly towards him. I probably on some level love him, but I don't know. He's just such an important part of my life. Which is why I'm really scared about him joining the Army. And he's sort of, I don't know, I'm worried about him. I'm worried about his mental well-being. Anyway, after the bar the other night, on Friday, we went over to his house, a bunch of us, and we sat in the hot tub, and it was raining, and we took beers with us, and we sat down there until, like, 5 in the morning, and he made me jump in the cold pool, and I was like, the things I do for you, and he was like, you're never going to feel as alive as this, and I wrote a blog entry about it. It sounds really cheesy, but it was one of those, I hang out with them because they feel like a soap opera, and it was a moment straight out of a soap opera, and in all honesty, he was right. It was one of those moments that I will always remember. It's a crazy story. Slept in his bed for a couple hours, nothing happened. And then I went to the zoo, like, almost walk of shame style. But it monsooned, so we got out of there early, which was nice, and I came home and slept for, like, ever, and then, no, just slept on Saturday. And then Sunday I went to Lucille's in Disneyland. That was fun. Also at the bar on Friday, there was this really pretty guy that I used to like in college program. His name's Nico. He used to be in Aladdin. And he was, like, totally into me, like, saying things about how his room was soundproofed, and, like, he got my number, but Jen, he was so pretty, but he was so vapid, so dumb. Like, he just kept talking about himself and saying the dumbest things. And it wasn't enough to make up for the pretty. I'm so picky that a guy that I've thought for 3 years was freaking gorgeous, I won't go home. He owns a house, and it wasn't good enough for me. I'm gonna die a nun. Or end up with a Hakel or a Mark. Anyway, my life is actually really exciting, and I love it, and I love the zoo, and I love my house, and I love my life, and I love LA, and I love the jobs that I'm going to have, and I love my friends, and it's all very exciting, and Ren Fair is coming, so I'm going to start on that costume, and I'm a nerd, but I know it, and I'm okay with it. So I'm really happy. I hope you're happy. I'm worried about you because you're so busy and now you're stressed about Andy, but it'll be okay. I want to hear your thoughts on it, though. So post 10 minutes of just talking about yourself. Just think out loud. That's what I just did. It's really good. It feels really good. I hope this wasn't super boring. I'm sorry I don't have diet stuff to tell you. I'm sure that once I start the new job and get into a routine, it'll be better. I did buy ground turkey and chicken tonight, so. All right, my time is up, but I love you, and I miss you, and I'm sure I have more things to tell you. Oh, my biopsy I had today, but it wasn't really a biopsy. She says it's fine. So I'm all good to go. All right, bye.